Time now for Ask the Expert. Believe it or not, the busy spring housing season unofficially kicks off Super Bowl weekend.
And potential home buyers are getting ready for what will likely be another competitive season. Local financial professional Mike Williams with wealthwisconsin.com is here to give people a few steps on what they need to do to save for that home. And what are some of those first steps to think about?
Yeah, so for a lot of us, purchasing a home is the biggest financial decision we're going to make. The one takeaway I would say is when you purchase a home or decide to do so, don't just look at it as putting some money down and then making a monthly payment. There's going to be a lot of hidden costs in home ownership, as I'm sure a lot of us know.
All right, so what are we talking about, hidden costs? What kind of things?
You'd be amazed how many people don't actually save for property taxes.
Right.
If you're doing home improvements, you get reassessed. Typically, taxes go up, right?
And that property tax bill is a big bill. I mean, you have to pay that either at the end of the year or over a period of time.
Correct.
Right? So you need to save monthly. But sometimes the bank or the financial institution where you are getting the money requires you to put that in, doesn't it?
Correct. In certain situations, that usually makes the most sense. Something else to be aware of, though, as you're saying, maintenance costs. We are in Wisconsin. We have 4 seasons.
Yes.
There's snow removal. We can have a whole segment on just maintenance costs, I'm sure.
Okay.
But gutters, landscaping, you name it, that adds up over time.
What's the additional insurance cost you speak of?
Insurance costs, if you live in certain areas, flood zones, what have you, insurance costs can be a little higher. We all need homeowners insurance, but what is that cost going to entail?
Plus, does the PMI still exist, the private mortgage insurance, because you didn't put
enough down?
Enough down?
Right. In certain situations, if you don't have 20% down, you're paying extra cost as well.
So
for a certain period of time, though, right? Until you meet a certain goal.
Typically, that's 5
mortgage.
years.
So what do you tell people, especially first-time buyers who are coming to you probably for the first time, that also have a big college debt? I mean, how are they going to manage that with a housing expense?
Right. What's unique to everybody is their situation. We have a calculator at wealthwisconsin.com that there's no magic answer. But what we can do is help you narrow down if there's other debt, what the income looks like, what your savings look like, how much home you can actually afford. See, the answer to that is different for everybody, but there's a lot of factors.
But do you really suggest you should go into this with at least 20% to put down?
I mean, I'd put all down if I could.
Right,
but I mean, you want that ideal situation, sure. You'd like to put something down.
If you won the Super Bowl, not Super Bowl, but the Mega Ball last,
you got it.
You would have been able to put it all down.
I know.
And overall, in your lifetime, it's still a good investment.
Certainly is.
To buy a house, don't you think?
Certainly is.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and the question is whether to spread it out over 15 years, over 30 years, whether
there
to
longer
refund.
ones now?
Some of them, they were 40 years at one time.
Rates are still historically low.
Yeah,
so what we're
helps.
seeing a lot of is folks at 30 years can refinance to 15 years, have tremendous savings, and cut their longevity of their mortgage in half.
Wow.
Big benefit there.
Yeah, and so, but this time of year, people are thinking about, do I need to get a new home or I want to stay or get that first home? Spring is really when the business picks up for you?
Busiest time of year, absolutely. More people, once the Super Bowl season kicks off, are purchasing new homes.
And when you say new homes, are we talking about new built homes, or are we talking just a new home to them? You know,
A little bit of everything. That refinance market, knowing that rates are still pretty close to historical lows, folks are looking to take advantage.
So if someone came into you today, I mean, what do you sit down and talk to them about? Is there a step-by-step process to get them going before they start looking at houses?
There's a process in place. Again, there's some variables to get into, but you got to know what's coming in, what's going out.
You got to know your income. You got to know what some of your other costs are. Is that the big thing?
That's a big thing. You want to know how can you budget for this. This is going to be a big expense and investment, almost a blessing and a curse, if you will, right?
All right, good information, Mike Williams. Appreciate that. If you have a question for our experts, email them at asktheexpert@today'stmj4.com. You can also leave a voicemail. We always have the number right there, 414-967-5253.